Welcome to the Delaware Mortgage Rate Weekly Mortgage Market Update for the week of February 18th, 2013. Hello, I'm John Thomas from Primary Residential Mortgage here to give you your update. Well, last week was another week we saw mortgage rates inch higher as mortgage bonds sold off. If you look at the chart on your screen, you can see the big arrow showing that mortgage bonds have been trending lower since the beginning of the year, and they've continued that trend. We've had a couple times where we thought they might break out of it, but they haven't, and again, last week proved that. What's been happening is money has been coming out of the bond market into the stock market. This big rally just keeps going on and on. Last week we set another all-time record high for the S&P. That pulled money out of the bond market and forced home loan rates higher. In the short term, the market's going to keep rallying, so we're going to recommend locking your Delaware mortgage rate if you're closing in the next 30 days. Now, if you're not closing for more than 60 days, you got some new construction going on, we are going to recommend floating because there is going to be a pullback on this stock market rally. When that pulls back, money will move back to bonds, and you'll see home loan rates move lower. But in the short term, they're going to keep trending. The rates are going to keep trending higher as the bond trends lower. Now, what has been moving this money in the stock market? What is keeping these investors excited about these riskier assets? We've been getting good news on the economy. Last week we saw consumer sentiment come out much better than expected at 76.3. The expectation for 73.5. The read on manufacturing, the Empire Manufacturing Report, came out better than expected. 10-point increase versus they were expecting no increase. And then the big one was the Labor Department released the initial jobless claims for last week. 27,000 fewer jobless claims were filed than were anticipated. That dropped the number to 341,000, almost a 5-year low. So all that good news has been moving money into the stock market. We also saw last week some good news on housing, which was the National Association of Realtors released that the national median single-family existing home price increase surged by 10% up to $178,900. This year-over-year increase of 10% is the biggest increase since 2005. And then last week we talked about the FHA increasing the monthly mortgage insurance on April 1st, and then they're going to make it for the life of the loan on June 3rd. The reason for this is HUD is saying their MIP fund and insurers loans is at an all-time low. It's below what they're required to have, so they're saying they need to bolster those funds. But what they're not saying is they actually have two funds. They have the MIP fund, which is very, very low, but they have the general fund, which has all the money they need. And the money in the general fund was moved from the MIP fund to the general fund for anticipated losses that haven't happened, so they could simply move the money back and it would solve the problem. There's a great video in the blog from the National Real Estate Post that explains this whole process to give you a better education of what's going on, so definitely check out that video. Now, in the local news, DSHA, Delaware State Housing Authority, announced the end of another program. The Homes for Heroes program has ended. They officially allocated 100% of all the funds. They helped some families in Delaware, and the funds are no longer, so that program is over. Last week's update, we told you about the ending of the ROCK program, which was the Rebuilding Our Community. So both of those programs are gone, but you still have programs from Newcastle County, and you still have the DSHA bond loan with the small loan. In the local news also, we have the next free first-time homebuyer seminar in Dover. It's Tuesday, February 19th, and that's from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. at the Dover Sheraton. And then the next one in Newark is Saturday, March 16th, and that's at the Christiana Hilton Hotel in Newark from 10 a.m. to noon. You can register for either one of these seminars by giving us a call in the office at 302-703-0727, or you can register online, www.delawarehomebuyerSeminar.com. That's it for this week. Look forward to seeing you guys next week.